I just think it's funny that the top G is a fanboy. He runs with this whole thing like, what color is your Bugatti?
Jake Paul has fired back at Andrew Tate's call-out with exactly what you'd expect, a loud, ego-driven rant. Classic Jake, full of overconfidence and bravado, seemingly detached from reality. The self-proclaimed trash talk king, known for cherry-picking opponents for easy wins, now claims he can take down Andrew Tate. Tate, a four-time kickboxing world champion with an impressive fight record, is leagues ahead in credibility. Jake's bravado might sell tickets, but can it back up his bold claims?
Did endless videos supporting me, laughing about me, saying how funny I was. I'll fight him for free.
Let's not forget Jake Paul's illustrious history of overhyped fights, most ending in mediocrity or outright embarrassment. And who could ignore the painfully cringeworthy, scripted face-off with Mike Tyson that somehow grabbed headlines? Jake Paul, a man more skilled at dodging real challenges than landing actual punches, is now stepping up to Andrew Tate. But not with skill, just his trademark loudmouth bravado. It's trash talk versus true talent, and once again, Jake is in way over his head.
I'm sure he's ready to back up.
I don't think he ever gets into the ring and risks his alpha male appearance to fight me or Logan. Andrew Tate, you're scared to get in the ring with one of us.
Jake Paul, just the name is enough to make anyone who values integrity in sports or sanity in general cringe. The self-proclaimed problem child has somehow convinced a chunk of the internet that his glorified TikTok-tier boxing career qualifies him as a legitimate athlete. Now he's collided with Andrew Tate, a human cocktail of cigars, Bugattis, and outdated alpha male philosophies. It's a clash of two egos so bloated they might require their own ZIP codes. This isn't just a matchup. It's a spectacle of absurdity. Let's break down this chaotic showdown, shall we?
But what I'm saying is that Andrew, if my brother doesn't fuck you up, I will. And it has to go down.
Andrew Tate, a man with 4 legitimate kickboxing world titles, has called out Jake Paul for a fight. And why wouldn't he? Jake's entire boxing career resembles a bad reality TV show, where retired MMA fighters and washed-up athletes are paraded out to lose to him for a paycheck. But here's the twist. Tate isn't just another name on Jake's padded roster. With 76 wins under his belt, Tate has actual combat credentials, not the bargain bin victory lap Jake is currently running. Tate didn't just issue a challenge. He went for the jugular, questioning Jake's courage and mocking his desperate attempts at relevance. Coming from a guy who built his empire preaching the gospel of Bugattis and Hustler University, that's saying something. Jake's response? Predictable as ever. He retreated to his podcast, *BS with Jake Paul*, arguably the most accurate title he's ever created, spending an episode posturing and puffing his chest. Andrew Tate, you're scared to get in the ring with one of us, Jake declared, dripping with irony. Jake calling anyone scared is peak comedy. This is the same guy who spent more time dodging Tommy Fury than training for a real fight. He's the walking definition of the pot calling the kettle black, except the pot is also trying to sell you overpriced merch while shouting into a microphone. It's trash talk at its most absurd.
But what I'm saying is that Andrew, if my brother doesn't fuck you up, I will. And it has to go down.
And then there's Jake's theory on why Andrew Tate won't fight him. According to Jake, Tate is worried about damaging his alpha male image. Really? That's rich coming from someone whose entire boxing career is built on cherry-picking opponents who either have no business in the ring or are way past their prime. Jake's idea of bravery involves throwing punches at guys who should be enjoying retirement, not pretending to be the future of boxing. Still, let's give Jake half a point for trying, just trying, to sound like a reasonable adult. Amidst the usual self-congratulations and macho posturing, he did manage to agree that Andrew Tate shouldn't be banned from social media. Free speech is important, Jake says, a noble sentiment until you consider the source. This is coming from a guy who routinely uses his platform to hurl insults at anyone daring to question his inflated sense of greatness. Jake preaching about free speech is like a used car salesman lecturing on honesty. Hard to take seriously when their entire persona is built on manipulation and self-promotion.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you.
While Jake Paul keeps running his mouth, let's not forget the circus he's already juggling. There's KSI, his longtime rival, who he's been feuding with for years, but somehow still hasn't fought. Then, there's Tommy Fury, whose fight with Jake has been canceled so many times it's starting to resemble a poorly written soap opera. Visa issues, scheduling conflicts, and Jake's uncanny knack for turning every situation into melodrama. Take your pick of excuses. At this point, Jake dodging real opponents isn't a rumor. It's a recurring theme. Recently, Jake addressed the ongoing Fury saga, saying, "Speaking of Brits, I had a call with Tommy Fury. They're saying we're going to fight in February. I think he actually can't leave. He can't come into the United States, so if I fight him, it's in the UK." His co-host was quick to point out Tommy's history of last-minute withdrawals and questioned whether this fight would even happen. Jake admitted, "I think parts of it are shady. I don't think we're getting the full truth. But regardless, it's a great matchup, and I really want to knock him out." Now, Andrew Tate steps into the picture, offering Jake a golden opportunity to prove he can actually hang with someone who knows what they're doing in a fight. And what does Jake do? He postures, talks big, and drips with bravado. But will he actually step into the ring? Let's be honest, probably not. Jake's entire career thrives on theatrics, not genuine challenges. He doesn't want to fight Tate. He wants to milk the drama for clicks, views, and another wave of gullible fans who think his trash talk somehow equates to talent. Jake Paul wanting to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez is like a toddler challenging Usain Bolt to a sprint. Embarrassing, delusional, and undeniably hilarious. This is the same Jake Paul who defeated Anderson Silva in October 2022, a 47-year-old MMA legend, sure, but far past his boxing prime. Yet somehow Tate believes that one victory has catapulted him into the realm of legitimate contenders, worthy of stepping into the ring with one of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers in history. Jake's ambitions don't just stretch credibility, they rewrite reality. His so-called knockout record is about as believable as a staged prank video, yet he keeps doubling down. And as if his inflated ego weren't enough, Jake's loose mouth has landed him in even more hot water. This time it's Eddie Hearn, the heavyweight boxing promoter who's had enough. Jake accused Matchroom Boxing, Hearn's pride and joy, of paying off judges for favorable scorecards. The result? A $100 million lawsuit. That's right. Jake's penchant for baseless accusations might cost him more than all his social media clout combined. But does he backtrack or lay low? Of course not. Jake promises to debunk the allegations in episode 8 of his podcast, because naturally, the guy who built his career on viral pranks and manufactured drama is totally the authority to expose corruption in professional boxing. Sure, Jake, we'll be waiting for that earth-shattering expose. Meanwhile, Jake's feud with Tommy Fury continues to drag on like a never-ending soap opera. These two were supposed to fight at the end of 2021, then again in 2022. But Tommy always seemed to have a convenient excuse. Visa issues, injuries, or maybe just the realization that losing to Jake could be career suicide. In the meantime, Jake has relentlessly trashed Tommy on social media, calling him a coward and even declaring he's ready to fight him in the UK in 2023. But let's not forget Jake's stellar track record when it comes to following through on fights. If this match actually happens, a big if, it will likely be another overhyped spectacle that leaves fans wondering why they bothered tuning in. Enter Andrew Tate, the wild card in this circus. A Jake Paul versus Andrew Tate fight is the kind of chaotic spectacle that could genuinely be interesting. Tate, with 76 professional kickboxing wins, brings real combat experience, unlike Jake's lineup of reality show tier opponents. Tate may be polarizing, but at least he knows how to fight. Jake, on the other hand, is the poster boy for delusions of grandeur. Watching him step into the ring with Tate would be like watching a YouTuber challenge a Navy SEAL to a push-up contest, painful but impossible to look away from. Whether Jake's bravado can finally meet a dose of reality remains to be seen, but one thing's certain, the drama will continue, for better or worse.